Absolute Batman number 10, written by Scott Snyder, art by Nick Dragota. There we go.
Boy,
Yeah.
this was a wild one this week.
I have been keeping up as best I can with the Absolute books. I will admit I had to go back and catch the Freeze arc on this one. I did skip over, so I did go back, got fully caught up there. And good thing I did, because this issue, Scott Snyder just decided, I'm just going to drop the entire Absolute Batman Rogues Gallery all at once. Why not?
Yep. We're gonna make our way through Arc M and see as many twisted versions of these characters, which we'll get to the negatives towards the end, because I like to front load with positive.
Okay.
And yeah, seeing all these different versions is kind of cool, because it gives you a sense of where Snyder's mind is for the Rogues Gallery. Because, in the first arc, we get to see all of Bruce's friends, right? For lack of a better term, the Bat Family, with, Oswald Cobblepot and Harvey Dent and Enigma and Croc, right? And they're all, they're these, I call them like the main rogues, right? They're Batman's main guys. They're the ones you think of first. So having them off the table, seeing who else that he's bringing in, and seeing their names come up on the project list, I was like, oh, okay. This is where we are now. We're not going to have to wait much longer. Ivy gets represented. We get Langstrom.
Clayface.
Clayface. It is definitely him playing with his horror background. I'll give him that much.
Absolutely. I was reading through this, and all I could think is, okay, so some of the characters, Clayface, I feel like is the most obvious. You could turn that into a horrific thing. But then once it got to the stuff like Poison Ivy, I'm like, oh God, this is awful. This is horrendous what we're doing. And not like in a bad way, but like in a, oh, Jesus Christ, how are we going to be able to run with this one?
Yeah. Well, and just her face coming out of the tree, right? It gave just creep vibes automatically, which is what we should be feeling in Arkham Asylum. I feel like at this point, going through as many Batman stories as we've read over the times, doing something fresh with Arkham, I think is really smart. So to have it be this testing facility where the inmates are test subjects makes it somehow darker than just the asylum where the bad guys go to break out of every so often.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's the Joker kind of running things, who we still haven't really gotten a view of, right? He's been hinted at in the other Absolute books. And so to see Bane kind of be the representative here, almost like the warden of Arkham.
Yeah.
Definitely a new spin.
At least the muscle, for sure, because we get that one scientist who seems to be in charge of things. I don't know if she was given a name before the end of it, but... Oh, no, she was just Dr. Arkham, that's right.
Yes. Yep. But yeah. So... with the good comes the bad.
All right.
And I always have a problem, right, with Because Batman. And I feel here this is just an issue of Scott Snyder dropping Batman into the worst predicaments and seeing how we could get him out. And usually that's fine. But we get to a point here where Bruce has removed his own teeth, right? As he is in Arkham to make... not Wolverine blades exactly, but to make claws for his fists to fight the guards.
Knuckle dusters.
Knuckles. So the main story in this is Bruce wakes up, he's completely naked, and he starts to try to make his escape. He gets to a certain point, we get to see whatever experiment he's closest to. Bane shows up, beats the piss out of him. He starts back again. This takes place over like 3 months that he's there. And as we're seeing Bruce go through this, we see his friends on the outside and his mom kind of look for him while he's going through all of this. And it gets to a point where they have shaved him. They've shaved his head and done all this weird surgery on him. And they mentioned that all the other experiments have failed. He's the first one to do it. And I'm just like... was it necessary to have him go through all of this at the point that he's already a 6'9" dude?
Right.
that wears an axe on his chest. Was it that much to put him through all of this horrific stuff?
I
So definitely I feel like it changes the direction of Absolute Batman just a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely feel the direction change for sure. This feels like, the first arc happened, it was setting things up. Then we had the freeze as kind of an interstitial,
Hmm.
but this feels like the next major arc happening here, where we're taking
Hmm.
a slight direction shift. I, I agree with you, and I do think that is a point of the surgery seemed to be a bit much, but I like the idea that he is trapped here for months, and
Hmm.
this idea that he's just so stubborn that he is
Hmm.
never going to be able to be stopped, to be broken down, to be anything like that. The surgeries just, I feel like, take it that, and same thing with what he does after the surgeries, is
Hmm.
take it that extra step too far where it's, okay, but like, how does anyone come back from this? Even if you are
Yeah.
Batman, this seems like, nah, man, you're different forever.
Well, yeah, and just with the whole vibe of Bane, and we know his whole thing is he broke the bat.
Mhm.
Like, is this what Snyder's going to subvert? Right? Is that this Batman can't be broken because
Mhm.
he's from the Absolute Universe, right? This is a universe where at least we think that Darkseid is the primary god
Yeah.
at hand. So maybe this is what does it. Um, but yeah, because once we get to all the weird stuff, right? The Langstrom experiments, and
Mhm.
it looks, it's not just Man Bat, right? It looks like Professor Pig and the Terrible Trio, like kind of any of the animal themed
Yeah.
villain. They're all part of that experiment, right? And Snyder does do a good job of making me wonder what the hell's going on there.
Oh yeah,
You
absolutely.
know?
There's one repeated shot. So he's after he escapes the first time, he runs past this giant egg that
Hmm.
is still intact, and then he's knocked out. He's put back in a cell. A month passes, and he escapes
Hmm.
again. And when he makes his second escape, they don't make any reference to it, but they specifically make sure to show the egg is hatched. And whatever is
Hmm.
inside has broken out, and all like I think that's meant to be Croc to an extent, but at the same time, because it was a sealed egg. I don't think that it may just be its own creature, but that's definitely setting up for something crazy in the future if it's not Croc.
Yeah, because I've looked up Hellfern experiment
Hmm.
and nothing comes up. So maybe this is something new also.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
I didn't think of it being Croc. That's a good pull that they had to rehatch
Hmm.
Croc because of. Um, that's another problem that I had. And this has nothing to do with the book. This is the problem with being on comic book social media
Hmm.
is, man, there is no set time for you to like get out of the way. I
Yeah.
feel like as soon as Wednesday morning hit, I was seeing the new design of Croc, and I had made up my mind before I'd read it. I'm like, that's stupid. I don't like it.
Which
Um,
panel were you seeing?
it is the panel with him having the all the teeth run down his front. So
Hmm.
it's the way it's me, Bruce.
Okay, yeah.
Um, and that had kept popping up, and I was like, oh my god, that's dumb. I don't like it. And then you read in the context, and it's still kind of a dumb design. But what happens when he opens his jaw?
Hmm.
His whole body has become a crocodile's mouth,
Yeah.
right? Which is definitely something new. And yeah, so if that was him hatching from the egg, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because his whole body has completely shifted. Um, I like where that goes though.
Hmm.
It's very ominous. All the teeth are sticking out, right? And he like gets in Bruce's face, and you turn the page, and now it's Bruce riding on top of him. Like,
As
hey,
it,
you're still my friend.
it's important to note that, like, yes, he is very crocodile, but he's
Hmm.
honest to God bordering on dragon here. He's got
Yeah,
wings. He is like, this is essentially just Batman riding a dragon. Like, that is what we're
yeah,
happening.
for sure. And in between that, we're getting a flashback to Bruce and Croc training for Croc's fight against Bibbo.
Mm.
Which, if Pete was here, I'd go on a whole jag about how much I love Bibbo because I am a self parody.
Oh, of
But
course.
for the sake of brevity, I'll let that go. Um, but yeah, he's training for Bibbo, and all of his friends kind of think that it's too much of a tough task
Mm.
for Croc, and Croc's gonna get beat. But Bruce is of the mindset that, like, no, I'm not gonna be the one to tell him. He's still got to get in there,
Hmm.
So there's this really nice scene of them bonding over this fight. Um, and if Croc can beat him, and we never really get Bruce's answer to that.
Mm.
It just kind of, so maybe throughout this arc we'll get to see pieces of that fight to see what had happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really drives their friendship home.
Yeah. The vibe I was getting from it, especially with the parallels to him being stuck in Arkham and all that, is that there's this theory that Bruce in the flashback could save Waylon, could save him from being in this way. But then he says, no, I can't. Like, I have to just be there for him. That's all I can do. I feel like that's the parallel where he's not able to save Waylon from being turned into this horrific monster, but he's still going to be there for him. He's still going to break him out of this place at the very least.
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely see like we get the Batman tone at the end of this where there's a massive break in Arkham where all of these creatures get out into Gotham, and now Joker is going to have to play cleanup, or Bane, or whoever.
Yeah.
Right? It starts to feel like more familiar, because with the Absolute Universe, I do like how different it feels while also keeping it familiar. And I feel like having all of these people run around causing chaos, and Bruce not necessarily trying to stop them because it works in his favor. Right? If Joker's too busy trying to round them all up, Bruce can do what he needs to do as Batman. I just also wonder what they've done to him while he's been knocked out over 3 months.
Yeah, that's the part so there's the third time around when he's back in his cell, we see that he's got what I think any other comic book universe, or in the main universe, I should say, it would be assumed that he's been given venom. He's got all of his veins bulging. They're all a greenish color, but obviously this is the Absolute Universe. We can't just assume that. So I'm curious what these operations really are that have been done to him, because they specifically say in one thing he did a a brain thing, and a subsequent brainstem insertion. So they put something into his brainstem, but they don't say what.
Yeah, and they keep calling him 27, which I think is hilarious, because Batman's first appearance was Detective 27, right?
That was Snyder's story back in Detective 27. It was the first time that they showed the future brain machine that they used for a while, and that was the 27th iteration that Batman had done his thing.
Oh shoot!
Yeah,
good catch on that one.
He loves the number 20. He cashes in on that all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, it says on here that his body's ready. All that remains for him to finally surrender is his spirit. Right. So again, it's making me wonder, like, are they just trying to turn him into a soldier? Like, what is in it, right, for them? Like, he's the 27th. They've tried this. Who else have they tried it on? Are all these experiments part of that? You know, and they're different versions.
Yeah. The vibe I was getting was that he was possibly going to be the next Bane. He was going to be the next in that sort of line, where obviously Bane managed to survive his thing, but then no one else has come in after the fact. So he would be the next one there.
And that's the other thing with Bane too, is that this Bane is so big.
Oh yeah.
Right? When you see him pick up Batman at the end, he looks like a giant. You know? But I don't think a giant can really take on a croc dragon.
Yeah. So
should be curious to see.
Yeah. And I mean that also goes into the fact of this is a lot more focused on how Batman requires his friends to solve these problems. Like, he can't take on Bane on his own, but Croc can.
No. Croc, with the backup there, the people, they believe in each other. They get that structure. So I'll say that's where this issue really does soar, is Dragotta's art, because it is so weird, right? And we're not spending a lot of time doing like human stuff, right? It almost makes Bruce as a human in the beginning feel out of place, because nothing in this place is human,
right?
And so by the time we get to the end, he's got him in his bat suit that was left out as like let's see what he does with this. And of course, Bruce puts it on. And it's almost like he's not human anymore. He's gone past that. So, kudos to Dragotta on here for really setting the tone early on.
Oh, yeah. And of course, Bane throughout this whole issue, and I think last issue as well, he throws out quotes. That's his thing. He's a very well-learned man. And Batman, as he's flying away on Croc, responds with, "Shove it up your ass, Batman, circa now."
Yeah. That is a very good one.
Yep.
Oh, so good.
Yep. All right. Well, what would you rate Absolute Batman number 10?
So kind of the repetitive of it, kind of the super weirdness. I'm definitely lower on it than I have been on the book as a whole. So I'm gonna give this a solid 7.5.
Okay. All right. I think I'm still up in the 8 range personally. I think I'm probably still just at a solid 8 rather than 8.5, but it's a lot of it is the mythology being set. I like the idea that we are setting up, even if we're not going to pay it off for 5 more arcs or 20 more issues, however far down the road we're going. I'm happy to know that there is at least a plan in place here of all of these people in the Arkham. What are they going to do when they get out?